Alzona.
Okay, thank you. I promise I'll stick to the 5 minutes. Please give me a 1-minute warning here.
You can go longer.
Okay. Let me address the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. And then I'll tell you a couple of things here which are not published on the internet. Go ahead, you can scour the internet for all the good stuff and all the bad stuff. Hopefully it's fewer than that. This race is not about me, but I will mention a few things about my family, which is only so far in the CIA dossier files, which of course the opposition will use because they're doing opposition research on me as I speak, because I think they probably consider me the biggest threat, assuming I can raise the amount of money. They've even gone so far as to be actually videotaping me in my church at Mass. I was at Mass today. I've seen them. I've seen at least one former Secret Service agent who was in there, and also operatives for the opposition. I'm at the St. Jane de Chantal Church. One of my constituents, the Chief Justice Roberts, a little flower. I know this is a sign of Catholic insider thing, but since one of our prospective opponents is Kathleen Matthews and another one is Jamie Raskin, who is, you do not want him absolutely to take that seat, given what he's done. Okay, my family, okay. Little things like that. I'm from the Philippines originally. I'm an immigrant. My father was one of the first officers in the Philippine Marine Corps. Okay, he served. He was part of the anti-insurgency. His claim to fame is a hero fighting the Muslim Moro insurgents in the south part of the Philippines and fighting the Huks, the communists. Now, some will use my term where I refer to Montgomery County and as occupied territory. It's not, in a sense, I'm not making a Middle East reference here. Because I come from a country, my ancestors fought the occupation. We fought the occupation by the Spanish, later the Americans, and the Japanese. So in that sense, the blood of patriots flows through my veins. One of the Alzonas in history, look it up in the Smithsonian, was actually executed. Okay, that's the family background. My mother, her claim to fame, she was at the Japanese war, she was an interpreter at Japanese war crimes trials. She told one of the generals that he was sentenced to death for war crimes. He did not commit, but his men did. As you know, in Germany there was a similar thing at Nuremberg. Okay, that said, my kids, okay, all educated, and graduated from Montgomery County Public Schools. They've gone on, and I'm very proud of my children. One of them went on to Carnegie Mellon University, was on the Central Committee. Another one went on to Columbia University, graduated. Another one, Rhode Island School of Design. They were, in a sense, I'm very proud of them, exceptional for Montgomery County Public Schools. I've run for political office here a number of times. In a sense, I'm kind of like the Rambo. I run, I look behind, it's like there's nobody behind me. And it's sort of like, but I did it, I stepped up when no other conservative candidate would run, so that's it. When I ran for Congress, 2006 and 2012, I was a Liberty candidate, the only Liberty candidate at this point. Running in this year, I'm just the totality of my background. Am I close to the 1 minute? I have some more time. Okay. Other things here, I liked what all the other candidates said. That's great. That's really good, because I sort of see whoever wins the primary, that we're going to hopefully be able to work together as a team. So I do ask them, and I ask them and their operatives, please spend your time going after the Democrats, going after Raskin. I see Raskin as a bigger threat overall, but also Matthews and all of them, because they are coming after us. I know if they can fear little old me, this little humble immigrant, that they're really worried that we are going to take back the District 8 seat. Another thing here too, you can look it up, Google it, it's on Wikipedia, not that that's the most reliable source, of course it's self-editing, but the Congressional District 8 is only 65% white, and it's 45% other, including Asians, etc., etc. Now, I would like the candidates, my advice to you is to make sure to keep that in mind, because a generic, typical Republican candidate, and I'm not saying this is not a slur against any of the other ones, but the ones that we have put up in the past, with all due respect to all our nominees, we're too close to that mold we're too close, expose them to for them to divide people based on all kinds of things concerning like race, ethnicity, etc., etc. One thing else I wanted to throw in here too, I have endorsed Ted Cruz for president. I'm so far the only Maryland Republican official to do that. I did have conversations with Ted Cruz going as far back as June 2013. I've also spoken to Donald Trump and gave them both a little bit of advice. And yes, I'm known to be an entertainer, so you will hear things out of my mouth. The enemies will bring it up about some of the things I've said, but it is that kind of a year. So I would like to emphasize that regardless of who our candidate is, please support them, and also make sure to support whomever the Republican candidate is, because we really do need to change things in Washington. Do I have? No. Oh, okay. I'm saving this for my last minute. One of the things I wanted to emphasize, some people have said that, I know some Liberty people said, hey, Gus, you're an establishment guy. Well, I grew up and groomed in the establishment of Washington. We lived in D.C., moved over to Maryland in 1970, early 70s. The official moved me because I've been married for over 44 years. I think that's up on the website. Yeah, I've got 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and I'll go ahead and get on end this quickly. About 5 minutes?
Wrap it up.
Time it up. Okay, here we go for my last minute. Why support Gus Alzona for Congress? I'm saying I had to write this down in case I get Alzheimer's. On day 1, in January 2017, in addition to supporting President Ted Cruz, where he would rescind every single one of Obama's unconstitutional executive orders, I'm going to do that. In addition to that, I will, number 1, sponsor a modern-day version of the Defense of Marriage Act that was overturned by SCOTUS in 2013. 2, sponsor a bill to effectively nullify the 2015 SCOTUS decision mandating same-sex marriage across the nation. Number 3, sponsor a bill to repeal Obamacare. Number 4, sponsor a bill to strengthen our military presence throughout the world. Highest priority would go to our Navy, Marines, and other forces most ready to deploy boots on the ground where needed to protect American interests, as well as those of our most loyal allies such as the Philippines and Israel. Number 5, reopen the investigation into the causes, circumstances, plots, intelligence failures, etc., leading up to and after 9/11. Before we move forward as a nation, the time to do an unbiased, fair, and objective investigation, analysis, and determination of such would go a long way towards increasing trust in government again and help put to rest the so-called conspiracy theories being fueled by such items as continued law enforcement false flag operations. Number 6, work towards restoring the liberty and privacy rights of all Americans infringed upon since 9/11. Gus Alzona for Congress, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Gus. So